Well, my name is Holbrook, and I'm part of the Swarm and Jack core backend teams. And what I was presenting today specifically is a phenomenon called mutable resources in Swarm, which in short is a cheap and fast way to do ENS updates using Swarm itself instead of the blockchain.
Can you tell us anything about your thoughts about the community on this conference? How was it for you?
How was it for me? Well,
Did you connect well with people this time around?
Look, I'm what you call an extroverted introvert, or whatever the buzzword YouTube program shows. So I find to talk to people, but my energy level drops really fast. Yeah. So I tend to, default to my computer and seeing talks, which is, this is, for me, this is more what it's all about. It's just seeing what people have prepared, what they're talking about, get inspired from this.
Yeah. In fact, you were the person who was the most interested in our white paper at our booth.
Oh yeah, that's true. The high value white paper. Yeah. I mean, you gave me a copy, and I feel privileged.
Were you aware of Piper Miriam's Ethereum Alarm Clock?
Yes, I was aware of the alarm clock because, I think a couple of months ago I was experimenting about inheritance.
Oh, really cool.
In the Ethereum space. Yeah. Kind of a person, because I'm an old guy now, right?
I'm thinking about it as a use case.
You're thinking about it as a kid. Yeah, so what happens to, my daughter have all this stuff encrypted in layers on, offline devices. She has no clue. I mean, she doesn't really know anything about Ethereum as such or these things, and definitely no clue how to extract this information from my from my devices, and let alone the keys I've used, right? So how do you actually solve this bit? And I guess it has to be some sort of escrow, and it has to be some sort of canary, and it has to be some sort of, community of protectors that when the canary beeps, they can confirm that you're dead or gone or whatever, right? Right. And you would need to have something that's actually polling,
exactly.
It's a system like this. So, and I was searching for him, and the alarm clock was the first thing that came up. Then I started fiddling around with it, something I didn't understand, and then I got busy doing other stuff and left it for my April heap. It's April pretty soon, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I'll go
back. We would be honored if you would check out our GitHub and contribute or collaborate.
Well, I did already check. I actually downloaded the stuff and looked through the documentation and everything. So, but so I'm not sure exactly what the difference between ChronoLogic and
we partnered with Piper, and so we're working together now.
It's a cohesive unit.
Can you tell me a little bit more in detail about your talk?
Yeah, sure. So whenever you add something to Swarm, to retrieve this content from Swarm, you use a key, an identifier, a pointer. And the pointer of this is the actual hash of the content that you submitted. And of course, due to it being a hash, it's completely unpredictable where it's going to end up at, So every time that you update some data in Swarm, that is just, add some new data that's supposed to be related to the other data, you have to tell somewhere where is this new data is going to be.
Right.
So this is traditionally used with ENS, right? Okay. But for every ENS transaction, you have to pay something, so it gets expensive. It's also at the mercy of the miners, so it can be kind of sluggish as well, So for any kind of service that had a higher number or a relatively high number of updates, this, can pretty fast get out of hand, price-wise and also performance-wise. So what mutable resources actually does is to introduce a scheme where you can predict what the key of the data is going to be. So you use a combination of a certain pulse of blockchain block height. So you say, for example, I'm going to start my updates at 42. I'm going to do them every 4 blocks, let's say. So it's 42, 46, and 50, and so on. And then when you're at block 48, let's say, the next block in this period would be 50. So you attach your update to this. And then other people, when they are at the same block height, will know they have to look at block 50 to retrieve this. So you have a predictable way of generating keys.
Right.
And then every period, you can also add more versions. So like what I described now would be an update every 4 blocks, which is actually worse than the block time would be in the ENS. But then you can attach several versions to one block as well. So what it does is that you ask for 50. If there's nothing in 50, you go back to 46. You find something in 46, and you see, is there version 2? Is there version 3? Version 4? If there's no version 4, last one must be in version 3. So that's what you get. And there is also a notification system using PSS, which is the messaging platform on Swarm, which I also implemented.
Excellent.
And so that any interested party can listen to these updates and immediately know where the next update is. Because this iteration can take a little time and resources, but if they get an instant notification, they know exactly where they're at, so they know exactly where to retrieve the update. So kind of in short, this is what it was about.
Very cool. And where can people go to learn more about mutable resources?
Well, they'd have to they have to ask us Swarm guys. So mutable resources, PSS, and a bunch of other stuff is part of a network rewrite that Swarm has been going from last year.
Okay.
Which it culminates in what we call the proof of concept 3.
Okay.
So actually last week, early this week, it was feature complete. So we're just weeding out the bugs. So it's, and the release of this is imminent. So if you want to play around with it now, you have to go to the, development code, which still breaks and stuff. Yeah. But I'm not going to promise like a time or anything.
Okay.
But in very near future, it will be released. And,
Excellent.
we're nerds and geeks, so we're online all the time. At the Swarm Gitter channel, or at the Ethersphere, /go-ethereum GitHub repo. This is our development repo for Swarm. So also there you can raise issues and ask questions. So that's how you get in touch with us.
Perfect. It's fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank you.